Now, the protesters have taken power. Joining us now are two of the newly elected officers of the LIU Student Government Association. First up, Emily Anna Barba is President-elect. Madam President,
hi.
Welcome to BK Live. And this young rabble-rouser with the bullhorn is now the Senate Chair-elect. He is Carlos Jesus. Great to have you back at the table, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you guys very much for being here. Emily Anna, I want to talk to you first. If your mic's working, I want to make sure it is. Yeah, I guess. Can we hear Emily Anna? Anyway, let's start with you.
Okay.
What sort of obstacles did you face in becoming the president of the SGA? What was that like?
Obstacles.
Any?
I really think that we're so strong. Our support base among the students and teachers and just getting everyone together, all of our existing friends and everyone that knew us from the lockout, it was actually really easy for us to come together and get this win.
Well, Carlos, you were out there knocking on doors, carrying bullhorns, going hard for Mr. Sanders and Mr. Canova down in Florida, but you finally got a win.
Yes, finally got the win.
So how did all of that experience that you had out in the world translate into being a first-year student and now a Senate-elect?
Well, I mean, the experience gained in the two previous campaigns had an enormous impact. I mean, automatically, sort of knew the way that we needed to approach students, our messaging, also managing the people. Some things that many people don't know about campaigning is that person-to-person conversations are actually the most effective thing. So that's why our members of Young Progressives of America on campus, we had them passing out literature, engaging in conversations on why we were running and what was our message, which was transforming SGA, being the voice of the students. And what I learned was that you need a structure, but you also need to have that fire, that message that things can be better, things need to be better, and that we have the power as young people as well to make that change that we need possible.
Right, so I'm wondering how you make that change, not just at LIU, but try to push it maybe at other schools too. We were talking a little bit about it before we came on the air. What do you tell millennials, I hate to use that term, that are maybe not politically active like the two of you? How do you get them involved?
I think that everyone's really excited. Everyone we talk to is excited to make change. And so we just tell them that we're fighting for what's best, and we give them a few things, because we've heard the students. So we were talking to the commuters, and they wanted free metros. And so we talked to students and commuters at other schools, and we're like, we're fighting for this at our school, and you can do it at yours too. And with this win, it's just, we're being innovative. We're showing them that it's possible. We're expanding chapters, and it's really exciting.
So we know in New York and in Brooklyn, we have a lot of progressive elected officials. We've got a whole progressive caucus in our city council. You guys have your chapter now, and you're infiltrating other campuses.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we actually, we were lucky enough to be able to get a chapter at University of Massachusetts before the semester was over, which is amazing. And that is the model. We want the blueprint of what we did here at the school for young people to take these positions of power and use it for the betterment of society, for the betterment of the school. And this is the model that we want. And we want to export it now during the summer to other schools across New York City and the country. We're getting a lot of attention, a lot of excitement of what we did. Yeah. It's actually pretty unprecedented the way that we sort of as a political and activist organization sort of just swept the election. And then from there, we're going to make the change happen that we desperately need, especially in higher education, when you have tuition increases, when you have sort of a corporatization of higher education, and the fact that we also need to support workers on campus. And now with the Trump presidency, it's more important now than ever that young people start wielding this political power, and it starts at the local level at colleges, and then it will grow. We want it to grow for school boards, for city councils, all the way up to Congress and Senate.
Well, candidates, I think, seem to motivate young people, for better or for worse, Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump, but issues as well, like the Keystone Pipeline or climate change. Why do you think that is? What is it about some of these issues that students really latch onto?
It's the emotion. Media definitely can be corrupting, but it also can just reach out to large groups of people, and that's what grabbed us in too. We were both Bernie supporters, and we're very passionate about universal health care and the pipeline as well. And I think both of us had finals at the time, but we were so ready to drive up there. I know a few of our friends did, and they told us all about it, and it just brought us all to tears when we would sit down and just talk about it and just be ourselves.
Do you think that passion, will continue to spread throughout people your same age? I mean, Bernie Sanders himself, I believe, talked a lot about young people having to come up and get roles in leadership in order to make the changes that you might seem necessary. How do you see that sort of spreading throughout, undergrads that you know and maybe elsewhere other than LIU?
His call to action was so big amongst all of us. That's one of the reasons, one thing that keeps us going, definitely, is that everyone is ready.
Yeah.
Well, Carlos,
Yeah.
we look at like colleges, campuses as these microcosms of the world. We've seen what's been happening out in like the UC things with speakers that are invited and disinvited and all the security and stuff. But I wonder, what is the feeling like? Because are you guys like fighting with the young Republicans? Like, what's it like on the campus now, knowing how divided a nation is?
So, I mean, on our campus, we have a very diverse campus, a lot of immigrant students. There's no conservative group on our campus, and we support free speech. However, we support progressive politics, progressive policies, because right now, many people don't realize this, but Republicans are 2 states away from having a 2/3 majority and calling a constitutional convention. That could reshape the history of this country and our generation. And it is up to us to take positions of power, to get engaged now more than ever to save this planet, to save our country, to save the society. And there is a lot of polarization right now. And what we need to do is start engaging and start engaging in politics, not just talking about it, but actually being involved in the process.
If I may, the polarization is, I think it's a little bit of a problem because it pushes people to say, no, I'm a Republican, I have to support this. I'm very, very conservative on everything, but nothing is entirely absolute. And I think it's humbling when we come together and we just discuss each topic and we talk about where we stand and why we stand there, because that's when it really comes down to bringing us down to reality.
Oh, yeah, regardless of your party affiliation, right? What sort of nonpartisan, we have about 30 seconds left, what sort of nonpartisan message might you deliver to young people who might be watching saying we have to, be reasonable moving forward in our politics and our leadership?
Yeah, it's not about the red and the blue, it's about the reality of it all. I was going to say it's as if we live in a black and white world, and just like you don't have to see all of the differentiation. It's just all of us together as one, and we're moving together. We don't have to be so polar opposites, because we're not. We're really not.
And the issues. Healthcare. I think anyone can get behind healthcare, universal healthcare as a human right. Universal education. It's been proven across other countries. I don't believe this should be partisan. Science should not be partisan. Addressing climate change. We all breathe the same water. We breathe the same air.
We got you.
We drink the same water. We all live in this environment, and I think this is obvious that we need to be fighting to protect ourselves from these disasters.
Well, very impressive. I think we have 2 borough presidents or presidents
If
they don't steal our job.
president at the table. Thank you so much for being here. Don't be strangers. We're neighbors. Come over. Let us know what's happening.
Invite us more often. We'd love to come.
Away.